chances are, as you're watching this video, Bitcoin is probably going a lot higher than where it is today. But if Bitcoin is below $300,000, then continue watching this video. But if it's not, then you missed your chance. So in this video, I'm going to aim to basically tell you how much Bitcoin you would potentially need to still be wealthy. And if you're asking yourself, God, Bitcoin has already reached, let's say, $100,000 or $50,000, and maybe it's too late, then you're wrong. And this is exactly what I will explain. I'll also go into why Bitcoin is so fundamental as an asset itself and much more. So stay tuned until the end. But ladies and gents, I'm Crypto Kid. I post daily technical analysis on YouTube on the crypto markets, breaking crypto news and more. So subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you're new to the channel to not miss out on those. But today we'll discuss what I just mentioned. Now, Bitcoin is the hardest asset in the world, especially after the 2024 halving. It's going to be scarcer in terms of how much the inflation of new supply added compared to gold after the 2024 halving. And once that happens, it's going to be the hardest asset on the planet. And that makes it the perfect candidate to hedge yourself against inflation. Now, as I'm recording this video, the current debt around the world sits at $220 trillion. And Bitcoin has already hit an all-time high compared to the following currencies: the Egyptian pound, the Nigerian naira, the Turkish lira, the Japanese yen, which is the fourth largest currency in the world. Now, all of these countries, other than Japan, are in hyperinflationary environments, meaning the prices of goods and services have increased at such astronomical levels that the money that people earn on a monthly basis has not caught up. Now, for the people to save themselves against this, they need to either put their money in dollars, in gold, silver, or now Bitcoin. Because a lot of the countries that I mentioned, for example, Turkey, the central bank doesn't have enough dollar reserves. So if I were to exchange, let's say, 1,000 Turkish lira into dollars, it will probably happen. But if it's a huge amount, then they may say no. And in this case, to protect yourself against this inflation, then you would need to buy gold or silver. Now, this comes with a compromise too, because you need to invest in a vault, in security cameras. You will always think in the back of your mind, what if my house gets robbed? If I were to put this gold in the bank for insurance, I would be paying the bank money. There's a lot of hassle that comes with it. But if you were to buy Bitcoin instead, which is a harder asset, a more deflation or the inflation that comes with Bitcoin, it's a lot less than it comes with gold. So buying Bitcoin comes with a lot less hassle, a lot less fees related to it. It's infinitely fractionable, so you can even save $0.0001 worth of your money in Bitcoin, and it's unconfiscatable. Now, what does unconfiscatable mean? So if you own that Bitcoin, nobody's going to take that Bitcoin away from you unless it's on a hardware wallet. So make sure to store it and save it on a hardware wallet. Of course, nothing in this video is financial advice, but it's just from the mistakes that I've made in the past. I would, if I were to do it again, which I'm doing now, so when I save Bitcoin, I put it in hardware wallets, not on exchanges, because that Bitcoin you don't own. It's like buying a gold ETF. You don't own that gold. Probably that gold doesn't even exist. But so if you put your Bitcoin on a hardware wallet, you actually own that Bitcoin. And this way, you can own as many Bitcoins as you want, hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's just going to be on this small little device. It's free to store, other than the actual cost of the wallet, and you don't have to maintain it. You don't have to pay interest to the bank to insure it, etc. You just shouldn't lose your private keys. That's the only thing. And this Bitcoin you can store and take it with you anywhere in the world. This gives you full financial freedom. And what Bitcoin also solves is the double spend problem. And when we transact on the internet or we transact in daily life, there is a central body that governs whether the banknote or the gold that I transfer to you or any other medium of transaction, whether if this is replicated or not. So if I gave you a $1 bill, right, and the same $1 bill was given by someone else, it would be pinned because it would be the same duplicate, and that's, of course, that can't happen. With Bitcoin, that double spend issue is resolved not by a central authority, but by math itself. And this is done via decentralized mining nodes around the world, right? And it's not just controlled by one certain agency. And, you know, for example, if these miners were compromised, the Bitcoin network can still function because there's hundreds of thousands of them distributed all across the globe. And that's the revolutionary invention of Bitcoin. Some people say, hold on, Bitcoin doesn't generate, dividends like equities do, or it doesn't generate passive income like real estate does. But that is a false point of comparison, because Bitcoin is not a tech stock. Bitcoin is not real estate. Bitcoin is a medium of transaction and a store of value. So if you want to compare it to something, you can compare it to the United States dollar and gold. But you will soon realize, with all of these points that I mentioned to you and so much more, Bitcoin is the better alternative. Now this comes to the answer of the title. How much Bitcoin do you need to be rich? Now this depends on which currency you're measuring rich on, because as I said, Bitcoin has hit all-time highs in Turkey, Egypt, Lebanon, Nigeria, Japan. So already you are technically, if you have some Bitcoin, you're very rich in those countries. Maybe against the United States dollar, it's not at an all-time high currently yet, but I don't know. When you're watching this video, it may be well above it, and we've hit new all-time highs, made new lows, whatever. But it depends on the relative scale you compare your net worth in, depending on which country you are in. Eventually, 1 Bitcoin is going to equal 1 Bitcoin. Goods and services will be measured against Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will be the store of wealth which you measure other things to. And this may be measured in sats, where 1 Satoshi is 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin. So you can go way down in the fractionalization scale, and it wouldn't be a massive problem. For example, buying a loaf of bread in Venezuela, you need many banknotes to make that simple transaction, that small value transaction. So people actually have to measure the height of the banknote to calculate approximately how much that's worth, because taking the time to calculate exactly how many notes there are is just inefficient. So those are countries with hyperinflation, and they need another medium of exchange where they can go peer-to-peer, where it takes not much time for the transaction to go through, and it's very cheap. So for example, in the traditional financial system, let's say I have a Visa card or a MasterCard, and I go to Apple to buy a new iPhone. The moment I do the transaction, from money to go from my bank account to Apple's or the merchant's bank account, it takes between 1 to 3 days, or it can take even longer. And the point of service, or the point of sale, the machine that you put your card into, that takes a cut between 1.5 to 3.5%. And that's something that the merchant, well, it's not good for them. They make less money. And with Bitcoin, well, the transaction just takes 10 minutes. So from my account to their account, it takes 10 minutes to be transferred, and the fee is less than $1. And that is remarkable. This actually increases the GDP of a country. Because what is one of the formulas for GDP? You multiply the velocity of money transferred in the world by amount of goods and services sold, I believe. So if you increase the velocity of transactions by using Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, then you actually increase the overall gross domestic product of a country, therefore increasing economic growth. So this is why third world countries, or any country on our planet that embraces this technology, they can get ahead of others very quickly. And this could create a huge shock and a massive Bitcoinization and adoption in different countries aiming to replicate the same thing. So in conclusion, if you hold 0.2 Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is already too expensive, if you hold 1 Bitcoin, then you're in the 1 Bitcoin club, the 21 million club, and not many people in this world hold 1 Bitcoin. You would be really special. And once 1 Bitcoin, because the value of the USD will continue decreasing as the total national debt of the United States also increase. One day, 1 Bitcoin may be worth $5 million, simply because the USD value has dropped with the emergence of BRICS, for example. So 1 Bitcoin will definitely make you very wealthy, but even if you hold 0.1 Bitcoin, that will also make you very wealthy. And as I said, it will cost you nothing to store it, and you'll have no worries. You can put it in your safe, you can put it in a locker somewhere, and not have to worry about, you know, what if it's going to get stolen or what. If you just know and memorize the private keys and the 21 words seed phrase, then you're good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that video was beneficial to you. And share this with your kids, share it with the future generation. I'm 16. No one told me this. I had to learn it myself. And when I did, it was like a huge wake-up call. And if you teach this to your kids right now, then you may be saving them from a lot of debt in the future. But even if not, then you give them new financial literacy. Learning about Bitcoin, learning about crypto provides so much to a person that people don't even realize. But ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching this video. I wanted to make this transparent one-on-one video, not hyper edited, just pure knowledge. And if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comment section below. And let me know also, how much is Bitcoin at this current moment in time that you're watching it? Currently it's $50,000, so maybe I need to make a new video soon, who knows. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, subscribe, and I will see you all in future videos. Bye-bye.